Drop a beat.
This is how it starts.
Y'all didn't know I have a DJ name on the weekends?
We drop a different beat.
All right, it is time for the Funkast Blast.
Ooh, Funkast Blast. Funkast Blast.
Funkast
Pew.
Blast.
Pew, pew, pew.
Funkast Blast. Funkast Blast. Pew, pew, pew.
Today we won't chew into the mics this time.
Is that a better one?
That was awesome.
What's up, fanatics? Welcome to another episode of the Funko Funkast, the only official Funko podcast recorded at... Oh yeah, wait a minute. We just got back from SDCC, and you're probably waiting or thought you might be listening to our live episode from San Diego Comic-Con 2019, recorded in a amazing room 6A in front of 1,000 people, or at least close to. We do have that recording coming up. You'll be able to listen to that soon. We're working on it. But in the meantime, we didn't want you to go without a podcast for a week. At SDCC, we're lucky enough to get some special guests that came by our booth, and a couple of them took some time to come up to the second level, the double-decker booth, and record with us for a few minutes. It was a lot of fun. You're going to hear it here in just a second, but I didn't want you to think that the live episode of the SDCC exclusive Funko Funkast was lost or gone or never going to come your way. It will be headed your way soon. Just stay tuned for details on that. In the meantime, listen to this great episode, this special episode that we were able to record. And we have to have some giveaways, right? I didn't get a chance to put that in our recording that you'll hear here in just a minute. So if you would be so kind as to go out and share this episode of the Funko Funkast, be sure to include a link to where you listen to it. Be sure to include that hashtag Funko Funkast. That's FUNKO, FUNKAST, and tell us maybe something that's on your Holy Grail list, because that is part of the conversation that's coming your way. What are some things on your list that you wish you could get? The prize this week should be something from Funko Fun Days. I'm not going to spoil what it is just yet. We're waiting on everything to come back. But we'll have at least one winner there. And of course, if you're listening to the Funkast, do so on SoundCloud at some point. Jump in the conversation over there and leave a comment or several. You can leave as many as you would like. Each one is an opportunity to win something. We will be giving away some social media Freddies, still the 1.0 version. We will be giving away some probably some Funkast t-shirts, maybe some pins to at least one, if not two or more people. I know many of you came up to me at SDCC and said, I really want a social media Freddy, and I directed you to SoundCloud for a chance to win. So here is your opportunity. I will ramble no further. You don't have to listen to this raspy voice of mine, what's left over from San Diego Comic-Con. Here, enjoy the episode. You'll hear it. I start with a whole new intro, like it was the beginning of a whole episode. You're just going to have to deal with it. There's some fun coming your way. I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, Nerdsy Night. Let's see. Checkity check. One time.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5,
Check,
6,
check,
7, 8, 9,
One,
10.
one,
A little bit more for you. Okay.
Check. Is mine working? I didn't check it before.
Perfect. All right. What's up, fanatics? We are here at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 with a really special opportunity. We had to break out the recording equipment. This is your host, Sully, at the top of the Funko booth. I've got next to me,
D-mode.
and we are joined by two special guests. First off,
My name is Charlie Benante. I'm the drummer for the band Anthrax.
And I'm Carla Harvey, and I'm a vocalist for Butcher Babies.
awesome. This is so cool.
Butcher Babies. I love it.
It is.
Butcher Babies.
It's almost like Demon named the band. Like this is his thing.
So a funny story about the name of my band. One night we were out at this famous hotel in LA with a great bar. What's that place called that we always go to and get really drunk at?
Which
and
one?
Gene Simmons was there, and he says, "This is Carla.
Oh,
She's from Butcher Babies."
Sunset Marquee.
And Gene Simmons looks at me and he goes, "Good luck with that name."
Oh, really?
You know, the businessman in him's like, "You're not going to get anywhere with a name like
no.
Butcher Babies." But we took our name from a Wendy O. Williams song from back in the day, the Plasmatic song, Butcher Babies. So it's not as sinister as one might think.
But it could be.
So this might seem like a random podcast group to bring together, but our theme at Funko is everyone is a fan of something. And I know we might have a couple collectors here with us. So you guys tell us a little bit about what you're a fan of, and have you been getting into Funko? What have you been getting?
So I started my obsession with Funko many years ago, and I don't know why. I just kind of drank the Kool-Aid, if you know, but
The vinyl Kool-Aid.
I just loved it. There was something about it, and we were talking about it on the way here, that it reminded me of like 60s cereal, things in the boxes cereal that I used to love or I used to send away for. So I immediately gravitated towards it. And my mom would always tell this funny story that she would embarrass me when I got older, but she would say, what do you want to do when you get older? And I would say, I just want to make enough money that I could buy toys.
Nice.
And that's exactly what I did.
Dreams do come true, right?
Yeah. And
awesome.
And we've been coming to the Funko Fun Days for about 5 years now. The first one I went to, I couldn't believe what was happening. I'm like, what is going on here? Remember? And then by the time it was over, I was hooked. And I'm like, I got to come back every year.
We're both pretty introverted people. We're both just big nerds. As he said, he collects things. I've been collecting things since I was a little girl. In fact, when I met him, we live in different cities, so the first time that we went on a real date, he had to fly me to his city. And I walked into his house, and I was like, is this for real? Because you have to understand, when you're, especially when you're a girl and you collect things, people think you're a weirdo. I have cases of toys and things, and he hates it because I take my toys out of the package and I display them all, and he would never do that.
You're doing the right way.
But ever since I was a little girl, I've always collected things. So there's knickknacks all over my house and toys and, my favorite characters, Hulks everywhere. But when I walked into his house, I was like, oh my gosh, I found the guy for me for sure. He took me in his basement. He's got toys covering the walls, taped to the walls. He's got life-size Simpsons. His house is like a collector's dream. And I'm like, okay, here's my stuff.
Yeah.
When do I move in?
Isn't that hilarious? Because for most of us collectors, I would think, you might be afraid you'd scare the woman off with that. Instead, it was something that sold it for you.
Oh, I'd never met anyone else like me. Most of my friends are very, you're weird. Why would you collect all this crap? And so when I met him, that was probably one of the biggest things that connected me to him, I think.
Back in the day when we would have a day off in a city, everybody would go do their own thing. I would go toy hunting and record collecting, shopping like that. And now when I was talking to Dave downstairs yesterday, the thing about it for me is the hunt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. That's what makes it exciting. Like, finally, I got this. Which is why I have a problem with, like, online things. Because a lot of these dealers, they get them before we can get them, So there was this Lurch from the Addams Family that I've been searching for, and I still haven't found it. And then I saw somebody had it in one of these dealer booths. I'm like, what the hell, dude, So, anyway, but it's the hunt.
I hear that from a lot of people. Yeah, they will say, you can pre-order it online. Nope, I want to go out. I want to hit the Targets. I want to hit the Walgreens.
I want it,
Yeah.
I want that feeling of walking down the aisle and, there it is. Awesome,
It's very similar like with Amazon and Blockbuster, like you go to Blockbuster, pick a movie, like that was excitement, like now what am I going to get? Well, now it's just like boop on the Amazon.
Well, even like him and I share this thing where like if I like this marker booth that we're looking down on, I'm obsessed with markers and finding the perfect thing that I want, and my heart starts to beat faster as I'm looking, and it releases this like endorphins that just like when you find something that you want, or a toy or a comic, I'll cry in comic stores when I find something. I cry just thinking about it. I get so emotional about finding the things that I love and collecting them and having them in my possession. But I am, like I said, a toucher. I have to like open my things, play with them, display them without cases, read the comics, get food on them while I'm reading it, get stains on them.
But I'll open the normal pop, but if it has an exclusive or a number, I can't take it out of that box.
That's true. Okay, so there's some things like we got Linda Blair to sign our Linda Blair pops, and I won't open that. I will leave that in the package.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Just hearing her talk about her collection gives me anxiety. I'm an inbox guy. I'm with Charlie. Sorry, Team Charlie all the way.
No, every time I post on Instagram or my stories, I have all kinds of people write, "Stop! Why are you touching that?" But that's just the way that I am. I even have a classic car that I drive every day. I'll run it into the ground. I just
use it.
I like to. No one's gonna want my stuff. I don't have any kids, and if I do have a kid, they're not going to want mom's like Hulk from 1983.
You never know.
I hope they will,
Once you turn
but
20,
You never
they're
know.
like, I
I'll
want
probably
that.
get some rotten kid that hates everything that I love, and they're not going to want it, and they'll throw it in the trash, and then I'll have to come back from my grave and haunt them.
The hardest part for me is displaying my stuff, especially the Funkos, because if I don't take them out of the box, and they do take up a good amount of real estate on my whatever. About 2 years ago, I discovered I was in like Michael's, and I discovered this long, like not a shadow box,
It's the
but
baseball bat
it's a
box.
baseball bat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. So I took them out, put them in there, hot glued them on the
fits perfectly.
and now I put LED lights, and,
Yes.
and so I'm Bob Vila in another life.
I feel like Michaels gets like a surge of sales of baseball cases.
After Comic-Con.
Yeah, after Comic-Con.
At
Like,
what point do they just switch it and stop calling it a baseball bat case and just call it a Funko Pop case?
remove
you
that
know?
little hole at the head.
So FYE just released that the other day. I saw it,
Did
and it
they?
has LED lights in it too.
Ooh.
Ready for collectors. God bless them.
Smart.
So you talked about being a Hulk fan. You mentioned it twice already. What are your other fandoms, individual characters? What are you into?
I love old school comics. I was just hanging out with Joseph Listener the other day over there. I loved Dawn when I was a kid. That was my favorite. I was a huge fan of like the 90s Image comics. I'm an artist and I write comic books as well, and I was highly influenced by that stuff growing up.
Yeah.
And so just old school stuff. I love the Sandman series. I love
yes.
Death. I was
Yes.
drawing her this morning, but I still love this part of Comic-Con where it's all artists and who draw on paper still, and not on there. Although he got me an iPad Pro and I've been using Procreate all the time, but I love just the old school stuff. But Hulk for me was special because I was a kid from like a broken home, and for some reason that character just resonated with me. The anger and everything that I was feeling as a kid, for some reason when the Hulk would lose it, like I felt so connected to that, and it felt, I don't know. The Hulk was even in my first sentence when I was a kid, the first full sentence that I spoke. My mom said that we were on a playground, and I spoke words, but not a full sentence. And I said, why can't the Hulk come clean this park up? And she said she was like, what did you say?
Wow.
And I don't know what it was about him besides I think that I was just like, I was upset kid. And when I would see that transformation in him, it kind of felt like what I would like to get out to the world myself. So he's a special character for me.
That's an amazing story. Her first full sentence had Hulk. I love
It's
it.
true.
That's cool.
Charlie, how about you? Any characters, licenses?
So when I was growing up, the thing that I gravitated to was like the original Disney animation, because I thought it looked real.
Yeah.
Didn't look like a normal cartoon. And seeing my mom would take me to see all these movies, and after I saw Fantasia, I was like, what the hell was that? There was so many amazing things about it that I went home and just started drawing. From there, got into monsters, and then I love Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
So anything like the Groovy Ghoulies, the Banana Splits, anything Hanna-Barbera, I was hooked. And
You'll do well with Brian.
I say, Brian, I love that, yeah.
so that's the thing that appeals to me about Funko, is like the love of Saturday morning cartoons and
Yes.
cereal, all that stuff. It makes me happy when I see it. Brings me back to that place of, Mom, could I get this? I got to send away for it. And you would get a little figure in the mail of Scooby-Doo or whatever, So I love it.
Kids today do not understand Saturday morning cartoons.
They don't.
They're missing out.
It was the best. I had
was
a
the
brother, and
best.
so I would sit there with my brother, and we'd watch. We'd get out the cereal bowls by ourselves. Parents would sleep in that day, and we would just go to town on all of our cartoons that morning. And then wrestling would come on after.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool too.
Right, but the thing about Brian that I love is like he's like I am. He gets excited about things like that. My mom would get me the remember TV Guide. Mm-hmm. So they would have a fall preview, and then they would have all the new cartoons that are coming in.
Yes.
And I would just stare at it, and I couldn't wait for the next day. Wake me up at 7, And so I loved all that stuff.
That'd be a cool collection, those old fall TV guide previews.
Yes, and I recently did an interview with someone who is a big TV guide collector, and he brought a bunch of them down, and we went through them. It was,
nice.
It was good. It was on a podcast.
That's a walk down memory lane.
It was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, it smelled like bad TV guide. You know?
So you both talked about the hunt and how that's an important part of your collecting. Do you have a story of that one item that you hunted for forever that you finally got that really meant something to you?
Absolutely.
There it is. Let's hear it.
I have a network of fans that will find stuff for me, and I was looking for this when Lord of the Rings was big. There was this Frodo, the clear Frodo. It was like I think it was called a 12-inch Frodo, and I had them search everywhere for it. And then at one time, everybody was bringing me these Frodos. I had so many of these things, I didn't know what to do with them anymore. Please stop with the Frodos, you know. So that was one thing that I had to have, the 12-inch Frodo, clear Frodo.
I'm lucky. I have a lot of fans too that know that I'm passionate about something, and they'll bring them. But the best thing I think is when you're on tour and you're in some random place in Arkansas, Kansas City, somewhere, or something weird, and you walk into a store and there's something that you've wanted your whole life, and it's there. Like there was a Dawn figure, and Dawn is not, she's a popular character but not extremely popular, and there was a Dawn figurine sitting, I can't remember what town it was in, but again, I cried because I was like, and I bought it. And of course the surly comic book guy behind the counter is like, all right, what's your problem? You know, here, take it and leave. But
they're always the worst.
They're the worst. They are.
They don't want to. They don't want to be there,
No.
but yet they love being there. God forbid you ask them a question that is like kind of redundant or something, and then they give you a look. It's totally like The Simpsons.
I always feel like, well, that guy, that comic book guy. So Al went to my high school, and his brother Marty is the guy they modeled the comic book guy after, and he is just like that in real life. But what was I going to say? I was saying something.
I don't know. We were talking.
Comic book guys that work at comic book shops.
Yes.
I think it's a little bit better now. I feel like they're more open-minded. But back in the day, if you were a girl and went in, they really would treat you like crap. And I always felt like, hey, I'm just as big of a nerd as you.
Yeah.
And why would you treat, if you've felt nerdy at one point in your life or felt disenfranchised, why would you make someone else coming into your shop feel the same way? You know, I don't know. But then again, maybe they're just socially awkward. Yeah.
And the worst thing too, if you went in there and he was talking to a friend and they were in a conversation about something and you're just waiting there for them to finish the conversation to ask that question, that both of them look at each other like, really? You know?
I'm right here. Please help me.
Exactly. But the other thing is I'm a huge Simpsons fan. And my basement, when you walk into my collector room, you see the Simpsons sitting on the couch. They're life-size Simpsons characters that I got. And that's been an obsession since like the late 80s. So people know that about me. And I have tattoos of the Simpsons. And the Simpsons started it all.
Have you been a Simpsons character yet?
No.
They need to make that happen.
That
The
would be
funny
awesome.
story about that is back in early 90s, we were pitched to be on The Simpsons, and it was all going, and then it fell through, and we weren't on it. But the producers of Married with Children found out about it and then asked us to be on Married with Children. So they wrote a whole episode about us. It was called My Dinner with Anthrax, and Kelly and Bud win a contest, and we go over their house for dinner, and then it just turns into whatever.
Yes.
Oh my God, I got to go back and watch it. I'm sure I've seen it years ago and I just don't remember it. That's amazing.
Yeah. But The Simpsons said no, but Married with Children said yes.
Well, at the rate the Simpsons are going now, it's going to be on for 100 years, so there's still a lot of opportunities.
Well, let's go.
Do you guys have a holy grail that you have not obtained yet?
Let me get my list.
Oh, he's prepared. He's prepared.
Okay, you go first.
Oh, wait, you Carla.
I don't really, maybe he's got something in his list that I'll agree with.
So, my list, of course, I never got the Notorious B.I.G.
Oh, okay. I hear people taking pencils out, start writing on the piece of paper.
Okay, but I do have most of them, but I don't have that one.
Okay.
I don't have the holographic Darth Maul.
Okay.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
The headless Ned Stark.
Oh, that's
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I was on tour. I couldn't come here for that.
Oh.
There's the original Kiss set.
Oh, yeah.
Missed that one.
But there
I
were the
was
drum
sleeping.
sets and everything. Yeah.
And then there was the Cal and Khaleesi one that you guys did. Didn't get that. The Indiana Jones 2016 San Diego Comic-Con.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Do you have a bunch of notes like this sitting around?
I
What,
just-
is this what you do at night when you're in bed on your phone? When I
Yes.
look over at you and you're like,
Yes.
I might just have that Cal and Khaleesi 2-pack at home with your name on it now.
Whoa.
I've been a collector since 2011, and I used to buy in quantity several of each
Oh,
item
dude,
to
I
help
love
out
you.
friends. So one's coming your way now, sir.
Dude, thank you so much.
How about
All
you?
right.
Anything
How
on your
about
list?
you?
I can't think of anything offhand that I need. It's more like if I find something that I have to have, I get it. But there's nothing that I'm desperate for at this moment.
It's funny
Can you
because
think of anything that I've been wanting?
I mean, I know you like certain things. Like there's a Alice in Wonderland figure, the Cheshire Cat that they had. It was an
I
exclusive.
think that's
here.
actually on
Yeah.
your list, and you're trying to see if someone will bring me one.
Yes,
This is a strong
you like
tactic.
that. You like the Addams Family ones that they put out.
I do. I do.
Just this last tour, we were in Europe, and Jason Momoa was there doing a movie.
Nice.
And he came to the show. I never met him before, and I
Big
loved
dude.
him in
Tall dude, yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
I loved the Game of Thrones episodes that he was in. He died quick, but
Yeah.
whatever. But I had to take a picture with him and just talk to him about it. And he loves metal. He's a metalhead. And that night was great. Everybody was drinking. It was such a fun night. But I want to get him to sign my my figures. So next time I'm going to bring them all.
Jason, please have a seat. You'll be here for a while signing all this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I would love to see a spin-off of his character before the Khaleesi events.
Well, they are doing
No.
before this, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like not a prequel, but kind of, yeah.
A side story.
Yeah, but the guys who originally did it, David and Dan, they're not doing it. They're going to be working on Star Wars.
That's right.
yeah.
Oh, well, then we're going to get some good Star Wars.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Exactly. I'm excited about that too.
Well, one thing we do on the podcast is we have some wacky questions that we ask ourselves. People ask us all the time, and I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple. One, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, of course. Although I don't really eat pizza because I don't like the carbs and the cheese, and he can't have
But the
cheese.
idea
so-
with you good.
But yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it belong? No.
No.
It doesn't belong on it, but it's an accessory, I guess.
It's an accessory. I like that. The pineapple is an accessory to the bread.
It's like the SpongeBob pizza.
We talk a lot about food, so based on your other answer, this one might be tricky, but we like to try burgers in different
Yes.
towns that we go to. Do you have a favorite burger or burger spot in the
Yes,
country?
we do actually. We like to go to Kuma's in Chicago. There's a couple different ones, so we post up there a lot when we're
Kuma's
home.
is the greatest because you could be an 87-year-old woman going there for a burger, and you're still going to hear loud metal
nice.
throughout the whole night. So, and they don't even care. But I think since I don't eat meat, they have the Beyond Burger or the Impossible
The
Burger.
Impossible Burger. I just
Yeah.
tried one
Love
for the
it.
first
So
time.
good.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I prefer the Impossible Burger over the Beyond Burger.
Same.
But the burgers that they have there, all my friends,
There's different themes all the
different
time.
themes,
so
exactly.
they have all kinds of. I like the really, really spicy, crazy burgers.
egg on top.
Bunless, of course, but
She likes egg
give me
on
all
top
the
of the
spicy
burger.
stuff.
Ooh,
Give me all the
Elvis
eggs.
style.
That's strange.
I love eggs. They're my favorite thing
Yeah.
besides Charlie.
What's your favorite? Combination.
I am a
combo.
Texas boy,
Okay.
so if it's fast food, I have to have my Whataburger.
Yeah,
I just tried that on
Whataburger.
tour.
Yeah,
You
dude.
and I are getting along just fine, Charlie.
Whataburger.
You
I
just
mean,
tried it for the
I
first time?
just tried it, and we made a special stop at Whataburger because
Yeah.
we'd never had it before, and it was quite a burger.
Back in the day, Whataburger was it, man. I'm not saying now it isn't, but you know, back then you would go out and then let's go to Whataburger.
Have you ever had the taquitos at like 2 in the morning at a Whataburger?
No.
That was a tradition in Texas. They start selling taquitos at 11 p.m., so you'll see a line of people hanging off to the side at 10:58.
Oh, really?
Ready to drive through and get taquitos.
Dude, I remember back in the day, like we would go to Jack in the Box and get tacos.
No.
They were the ultimate taco, dude. Before Taco Bell was in the East Coast, you know, Jack in the Box made great tacos.
Same thing in LA. We didn't have that in where I grew up in Detroit. So when I moved to LA, after the bar, everyone would go and get these 2 taco specials, 99 cents, 2
God,
tacos.
They were the
99
greatest.
cents.
soaked in grease.
I'm a large boy, and I contribute most of that to those 2 for 99-cent tacos. And they're the least taco on the planet. I think they should be renamed Deep Fried Beef Krispies.
Yeah, there's no meat in them, really,
Yeah.
I heard years later.
It's mostly just saturated fats and some sort of tortilla, and like they sprinkle lettuce and some sauce
But
on
who
the top to
cares?
mess
But it's
with
just what you need
It's
after a night of
amazing.
drinking,
Yes.
right?
Oh, and now
perfect
all
food.
I want are Jack in the Box tacos.
I don't know. I saw a picture
Yeah,
of
somebody-
it. I didn't like it. I saw a picture, but I never eaten an actual taco from Jack in the Box. But the picture looks weird.
Don't do
It's
it.
like translucent.
You would be the
There's
before picture.
translucent.
You're the before picture. I'm the after. That's what happens when you have 2 tacos from Jack in the Box.
Love it.
Did you have any other questions?
Do I? No.
Come on, you always got a good question.
I just love this conversation.
It was
Where we're
great.
at, Yeah.
Well, one thing we do on the podcast, this is kind of a curveball, is at the end we each have a motto, something that we say to share with fans. It's kind of our sign-off. I say Nerds Unite, because for me, this Comic-Con is about bringing all of us nerds together, helping each other out, just like the nerds help you guys complete your collection and bring you things. You're saying?
Mine's live deliciously.
Live deliciously.
Oh, wow.
So they're all over the board, and I know this is putting you on the spot, but if you had a motto to sign off on a podcast, what could it be?
Well, I actually have a little podcast I started. I was a former mortician. Now I'm a grief counselor. So one thing I always say is, you only die once.
Yeah, there we go.
But
There we
live life
go.
every day. Have a great day. Have fun.
Carla and I are the same wavelength.
I
like
would
that.
say that mine would be I don't want it, I need it.
I don't want it, I need it. There we go.
That is good.
Because I need,
I love it. I love it.
and that's the whole thing about it. My other thing
I
is,
smell a T-shirt.
hey, that's a good idea.
There you go. Copywriting.
Elect a clown, get a circus.
Very nice.
Anyway,
Well,
we're going to Whataburger now.
yeah. Oh, Whataburger and then Jack in the Box. Let's just do one of those. What is the final meal challenge? You ever seen that?
Oh,
you go and
yeah.
you get your favorite things from all the different places and have them.
God.
We should go do that.
Let's
Let's
go
just
do
roll
that.
around town recording while we get food.
And then we could end up at Voodoo Donut.
Oh, yes.
Hey, man, that place is amazing
Oh,
too.
Oh,
yes.
God.
I went in Portland and Austin so
Oh,
far.
yeah. And Denver now.
Oh,
I'll open up Denver, too.
Yeah.
well, if fans want to get to know you guys more, to follow you, to interact with you, what are some channels, some ways they can do that?
I'm on Instagram, Twitter.
Say your handle.
Yeah. What is it?
Char Benante.
Yeah, something like that. Usually it's like SKISUM
That's Twitter.
at Twitter, right?
Oh, my gosh, you remember
And
that?
then, of course, Anthrax.com you could go to
you
and find me somewhere.
You can find me on, I mostly interact on Instagram, and I'm at Carla Harvey on Instagram and Twitter. I think I'm at Carla Harvey as well.
Or you can find me at Target or Hot
Looking
Topic.
for toys.
Just scoping the
Every
items.
single day. Every single day we get up.
GameStop.
It's like, oh, I gotta run by Target. Like, for what?
What? It's
Hanging
Gotta
outside
go-
of Jason
Gotta
Momoa's
go by
trailer.
Walmart real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm a fan.
I really appreciate y'all's time. This was awesome. So one more time, we'll go around and we'll do our sign-offs.
Yes.
And that'll be our way out of here. So for me, it's Nerds Unite.
Live deliciously.
You only die once.
What was mine? Oh, yeah. I don't want it. I need it. Sorry, it's early and last night was a long night.